Well, I just wanted to welcome everybody here tonight. Like, we really know how busy everybody is, and you could be doing anything right now. And so we appreciate you taking time to hear what we would like to share with you tonight. Just a little bit about why I'm here is I had several years ago, my oldest son get really sick. And like many of you out there searching for answers and not getting them in the traditional places, I ended up in Dr. Brimhall's office. And so through these products and through some other, like Dr. Brimhall's methods, because everybody knows he's such a great and amazing doctor. My son got his health back and was able to function again after spending 5 months on the couch for no apparent reason. We still don't know, and that's okay. I really don't care to know. I'm just glad that he's back and doing well. So that, and how, what's interesting too is how I met Dr. Brimhall was through a friend. My initial conversation with Dr. Brimhall came from somebody referring me to him. And that's what we're doing tonight is you're here because somebody cared about you. We share this information with our friends and our family, our loved ones, and people we care about that we know needs this. So with that, I'm going to introduce Dr. Brimhall. He's an amazing physician. He has been training and teaching physicians internationally for over 25 years, been in a clinical practice for 22 of those years. He's on the actual, this is pretty amazing that we get to hear from him tonight because he's on the science advisory board of this company. So that's his type of credentials. And it's amazing to me to see physicians like him join companies like this because they see the science and they know what's going on with it. My friendship with him means a lot to me. He's more than just a doctor, but he quickly became a friend because he truly cares about people's health. And that's why he's here tonight. So Dr. Brimhall, I'm going to turn it over to you because people really want to hear from you about what we've got here.
Hey, Heather, appreciate you taking your time to come in tonight. Because at the end of the day, like what you just said about like there's people out there that are struggling in many aspects of life, whether it's their health or their finances, and they're looking for solutions. Many times I know people are on their hands and knees and they're praying, looking for solutions. And there have been many times in my life and my practice where I was having somebody I was struggling with. And like I would find myself, praying and just searching, like, what else can I do to help this person get to the level that they're looking for. And so we're grateful that you guys are all here. And I'm gonna mute a few people. So, all right, you guys can still see me, hear me? Right? Okay, perfect. All right. So thank you for being here, number one. And so I'm going to share with you guys a science and a technology and an opportunity that is for everybody out there that's looking. And so my background, like Heather went through, my life has literally been training physicians and working with people many times that physicians weren't able to help. Not because of anything me special particularly, but I was trained by my dad, who literally practiced since 1971. And when we couldn't help somebody, we would search until we could help find an answer. And through that process, I was working actually with a little boy. He was diagnosed at 2 with autism. And just for perspective, what his life looked like each day was his friends were his therapist. So when he was going to occupational therapy to try to learn how to speak, and when he was going to physical therapy to try to learn how to walk and balance, and when he was going to behavioral therapist to try to learn how to behave well with others and communicate, those were his friends. So I started working with him. He was 3. I worked with him literally every week for a year, doing everything I know. On top of that, he was doing 35 hours of therapy outside of my office that his parents were paying for to try to help unlock him. And what I mean by unlock him, many of us take for granted when we learn something, we just learn the next thing and we learn the next thing, we learn the next thing because they build on each other. Well, with him, it was like Groundhog Day. Like, it just seemed like you're doing the same thing again and again, trying to get his nervous system to retain the information. And that's pretty typical with that. It wasn't because he didn't want to learn. It wasn't he didn't have the desire. It wasn't, but it wasn't, he wasn't doing the therapy or the work. It's just for some reason, his brain was having a hard time learning and retaining that. So I was doing everything that I knew. And then his mom started giving him a drink that this company made called Axio. And literally within 11 days, he comes in my office and he sat still for the first time on my table, which is not normal. He normally come in and like run around my table and kind of take my chairs and run around. Well, he sat still for that 15 minutes. Then he went back and worked with the therapies, and he actually was having more of a conversation with us. And it was unbelievable to me because I had never seen anything like that before. And within that period of time, like it just didn't make sense. We hadn't changed anything we had done at all. But all of a sudden now, his nervous system was retaining and learning and recalling. And fast forward to this day, so he was at the bottom of his class at that time, still struggling after 2 years in a really good school. To 6 months later, he was being used as the peer model for behavior. Now, if you would have known him before, you would never believe that's possible. To this day, now we're talking about, really 9 years later since I met him, 8 years since he started the Axio, you would never believe that he struggled like he did. So what I'm going to share with you tonight is the technology change, and we're going to talk specifically about a brand new product tied to collagen. So I want to share my screen with you, and I'm going to highlight some specific things. And if you want a more in-depth look at all this, then just get back with the person that invited you, or just let's have a conversation later so you have an opportunity to see what's possible. The company name is LifeVantage. And just so you have a little background on where this started literally back in the 60s, where this scientist discovered a molecule which is the massive cleanup crew of the body. And within a short period of time, they knew they had this discovery, and they spent the next 20 years trying to find a way to get the body to make it naturally. Well, through that process, it led to the ABC News investigative station found out about it, and they wanted to do an investigation to find out if what they said was really true, because they were saying that this little yellow pill could turn back the clock of aging. Now, if you've ever seen those investigative reports, normally they're not good news. Like, they come in and they kind of debunk it. Well, I'm going to show you just a really short clip of it so you can see, and then we can send you a link to a longer clip. I want you to think about those you know and you love and you care about, and wonder, is this possible that this could help them? Because back in 2008, my mom passed away from cancer, and had I known this, then I would have used this to try to help her. Now, who knows what the outcome would have been if it changed anything? But understanding what this science is, you're going to think about people that you wish you would have had this before with, and maybe you have people now that you want to utilize this in their life. And then consider the life we've had and what we've seen in the last few years, and think, well, what if you could be a part of an industry that allowed us to take this message to the world? All right, so here we go. I'll try that one more time, and thank you, Ilene, for telling me that. All right, okay, here we go.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment. For me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age, but taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know: green tea or turmeric, a spice used in Indian cooking. Others, Withania somnifera and Silybum marianum, are more exotic. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma, all of these, strokes, heart attacks,
Even mental disease,
yes,
depression.
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after. Have we turned back the clock? Maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
We do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. And I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
Okay. So that's just a quick cap of what started this whole thing. And as I listen to that every time, I'm like thinking, like, when I thought about those herbs, you think, okay, those are good, but taking them individually doesn't do the same thing when you have the synergy together. That one time it aired, literally $5 million orders came in, but what happened, it led to all sorts of independent research. So this slide represents a lot of different universities throughout the world that wanted to study this product, Protandim, the actual product itself. So actually this recipe in all sorts of different human conditions. Like Ohio State did one specifically on heart disease. LSU did one on melanoma. So if you want to look at that, you can go back and go to what's called pubmed.gov, and you can actually type in Protandim and you can do some research. But when Heather said something earlier, they never found out what was wrong with her son. Well, most people, they wait till they have a disease they can find before they do anything about it. But understand the processes, the systems in your body, if they don't work well, you're going to have some level of dysfunction that lead to disease. What if we could improve the systems of the body and how they function, turn these inborn switches on the way they should function? That concept is known as activation. So we're going to turn on the body's natural ability to function like it used to when it was younger. That's why in that blood work, when you looked at it, they couldn't distinguish the blood work between someone that was 80 or 20 because the systems were working as if they were in the beginning. So that's what we want for every single person on the planet, to have their systems working optimally so they can function optimally. So just so you have an idea of what this is and why this is so unique and so different, is the problem is we live in an environment that's incredibly toxic. Our stress levels are super high. All that means is you're going to age real fast. Now, so that has to do with what we eat, what we breathe, all the stress around us, both internally and externally. Internally, that leads to a process called oxidative stress. You have it. We call it rust in metal, but it's in every single one of us. So it leads literally to hundreds of diseases. So if you type in anything with inflammation, it's directly tied to oxidative stress. So if you're not controlling it, if it's not being regulated, it's going to lead to dysfunction and then eventually to disease. That's just what happens. It's the process. We can see this in humans, right? Because as they age, we see the skin change as a result of stress happening to it, called oxidative stress. And if it can't be handled, people look like they age faster. Well, if that's happening in your eyes, it's going to affect your ability to see. If it happens in your heart, it's going to affect your ability to have energy and everything else. So that's everywhere. So why is this different? Because it's a recipe. It's a very specific key that turned on the switches in your body. So what it does, it literally turns on these switches. So think of it as assembly lines in your body to where your body makes these enzymes. So what it does, it reduces that stress level on the cell by an average 40% in 30 days. It does it by creating these really, really, really big, powerful enzymes. Maybe some of you have heard of one called glutathione. It's got a lot of press the last few years, especially with what's gone on since 2020. because they put these in IVs of people, right? Now, people always say, well, is it safe to take? Well, there's a 10-year study showing that they extend the lifespan. All right. So that by an average of 7%, which is like 5 human years, right? So imagine if you had somebody you loved and care about, and you had the potential of actually improving their lifespan and their health span. That's what this is. All right. So just give you a perspective of what that means. Now, I think about, there's lots of ways to do things. So we used to deliver mail to the Pony Express, right? So it worked. Packages got there sometimes, right? But the efficiency of delivering a message now drastically has changed, right? And even the ability to deliver the same message to multiple people has changed with the technology of email and phones and everything else. So think about this as a technology change in allowing your body to perform as it should. So to give you a perspective, 1 pill of Protandim, right? To get the benefits of 1 pill of Protandim, you'd have to eat 400 oranges in a day, or 500 cups of broccoli, or 110 cups of blueberries. So imagine like trying to do that, number one, but that's what it would take in order to reduce the oxidative stress in your body by 40%. The reason why Protandim does it, because it turns on the production inside the cells where the stress is, to reduce that free radical damage by 40% in 30 days. All right, super powerful. But this opened up a new concept. The concept is called activation. So activating the body's ability to heal and repair. I have 4 children, and so I think about this all the time because I have 3 in college. My goal with them is always to be able to help them develop enough self-confidence that they knew they could take care of themselves when they're gone, and to give them an ability to make money. I have to supplement their income sometimes. I did growing up, but I want them to activate their ability to generate income so that they can take care of themselves the rest of their life. So that's what this does. It activates the body's ability to heal and repair. So this science is called Nerve2 activation. And Washington State said about this science, it's potentially the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. So let that sink in just a second, right? What that really means to you, right? So if this is true, Washington State, if it says this is true, this could be the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. So if this is your first time hearing about activation and gene activation through natural supplements, then thank goodness, right? Because you now have the opportunity to take the benefit now if you so choose. Because if you are not doing this, then your body is breaking down faster than it should, right? We know that because no matter who you are, if you live on this planet, your body is breaking down. At the rate it's breaking down is based upon what you're currently doing, how much stress you have, and how much you're supporting your body to handle that stress. So I'm going to show you a few pictures because it's most people don't feel oxidative stress. All right. They don't feel it. And that's unfortunate because when it comes to like oxidative stress related to heart disease, you don't feel it. And 50% of people that have oxidative heart disease because of oxidative stress, they actually pass away before they even know they have it. So we need to come up with better ways of looking at oxidative stress. So this company are looking at ways to apply the science of this science to activate the tissues. And they've done that through a collagen product. Now, you might ask, well, why a collagen? And I have to admit, first, I wasn't sure either, right? Because I'm like, well, collagen, yeah, well, that's skin, that's hair, that's nails. Like, that's not life-changing stuff, but it really is. All right. So collagen makes up like literally almost 40% of our body's proteins. And it lines like everything. People think about collagen just comes to skin. So your skin is the lining. Well, you also have a lining in your intestinal tract. You have a lining in your brain, like it's in your organs, like it's everywhere. So when we lose collagen, like things get saggy, dull, and wrinkled. So we see that in the skin, but guess what? What if that's organs? What if that's tissues? What if that's glands? Like, what if that's the intestinal tract, right? So they made it a liquid for a very specific way. Why a liquid and why this collagen is because your body can't absorb or can't utilize what it can absorb. So this is broken down to little tiny building blocks so your body can literally absorb it and then utilize it, right? Because of that, it's super available. The body can utilize it to build where it needs to build. So what we do is we activate, so we turn on the production of the genes to produce collagen. We replenish it through the right amino acid, right collagen structures, and that helps to maintain what you have and generate what you don't. So we do that through a specific switch, which is found in what's called ruby red quinoa extract. So this is the light switch that turned on the power plant inside your cells, right, to make collagen, or what's known as a fibroblast. So when that's in there, like it's like you have the subs in there doing the work around the house, and you have the materials you need to literally be able to do the work. Now, it's in a fish collagen peptide, so it comes from a very sustainable caught fish, which gives us all the 10 different types of collagen, so your body can utilize it all over, because we need these different types for skin, for hair, for nails, but also for everywhere else in the body, including the brain, including the intestinal tract. So, and then it's sweetened with some berry extracts, right, to make it palatable, but also make it super easy to use, and also keep it super fresh because the antioxidants in it. Here are a few pictures to represent. Now, pictures are fun because you can see. So literally, this is a friend of ours. This is what her leg looked like before collagen and after collagen, right? And she's in her 50s, right? So imagine what's happening on the inside. If you're seeing this on the outside, imagine what's happening on the inside. And you can see also the difference in the fine lines and wrinkles around her eyes, but look at the legs. So if that's happening on the inside, the layer of her skin, and your skin has a lot to do with how we look, obviously, but it's also a protective barrier from the outside world. Super, super important, because that's also in your intestinal tract, and it's in your brain, called the blood-brain barrier. Here's a few other pictures. Like, look at the lines around the eyes, and the changes in the skin coloration, the brown spots, and how they're changing. And look at the time frame: 15 days, 20 days. Look at this individual, day 1 through 15. I listened to her tonight talk, and she said literally, when she took that picture of herself, she didn't even recognize herself, like, because she didn't realize how bad she looked and how bad she felt. And with her, a couple weeks in, like, she literally found herself feeling happy, and she's normally a very happy individual, but she went through a lot of high stress. And she said this literally gave her life back. And you might wonder, well, how does a collagen do that? Because collagen helps the brain neurotransmitters, which allows your brain to feel happy. All right. And then a picture on the right, and look at the changes again, the depth of the lines. Okay. And you'll see again, look at the change in the eyes, the eyelids, eyebrows, eyelashes, right, on each of these individuals. And these are in a short period of time. We're talking about, 15 days, 20 days. I love this picture. Always blows my mind. The difference in the eyebrows, eyelashes, but the difference in this individual's legs. Many things, as we get older, we lose muscle mass. That's what was happening with this individual. Look at the change that she had in her legs. All right. It also works on guys. We have to put a couple guys in there, but the coloration changed, the lines and wrinkles around the neck. All right. And it's just across the board. Like, so you're going to typically see the changes happen in your skin first, and then feel the changes in the rest of your body, because the skin actually literally replicates the fastest. Now, one thing that when I saw this, I'm going to stop my share just a second. I have to admit, like, I wasn't super excited until I started seeing the results come in. And I want you to know, like, this is your first time looking at this. I want you to believe, like, I want you to think, well, that almost seems too good to be true. But even if it's a little bit true, like, then I need to look into it. And so I want you guys to kind of hear from a good friend of mine, Ilene. And Ilene was actually one of the first people that I called about having her take this product. I've taken care of Ilene's family since 2003. And mind you, I started practice technically in 2001. So that tells you how young in practice I was. And just looking at your life, Ilene, from where it is now compared to where it was, like, every day, it makes me excited to get up and share this information, because there's other people out there just like you. And I know you've helped many of them too. So I'd love for you to kind of share with people what your life was like before, what's happened as we've introduced this technology into your body, and then specifically the changes you've seen as you've added collagen in, because I know you've added each one with time. Mm-hmm. Ilene's a phenomenal teacher, and just really passionate, like, educator in everything that she does. So please take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Bree. Oh my gosh, you guys, thank you for having me tonight. And I'm excited to share my story, because, like Dr. B said, there are people out there like me who may have lost hope, may have no view that there's even a possibility that you could break this glass ceiling or this box that people put you in with your diagnosis and with what's happening in your life. So I'm thrilled that I get to share this. So basically, for 25 years, I've been on a health journey, and that journey has led me through hospitals and doctors and therapies and natural and medical and the whole gamut. Basically, the result of all of everything was I didn't find quality of life. My neurologist was very clear with me. We're just trying to help you survive, and we're trying to help you not get worse. So at this point, I don't live my right hand above my head. I've gotten blind in one of my eyes. I have impaired vision in my left eye. I walk with a limp. I can't lift my leg off the floor. And all of that together is okay with me, because you know what? When you feel good inside, you can deal with the little handicaps that you have with your physical body. And so I'm thrilled to do that. But basically 15 years in on the diagnosis process for me, I gave up. I could not find anything that helped me have quality of life. I was taking, this is my favorite bag here. I was taking a bucket load of supplements, and you know what? They kept me going. They kept me being able to live. They kept me surviving on the couch. I would do one task at a time and lay down, and I would just live on the couch about 9 hours a day. And mind you, my children were growing up during this entire time period. And that's a heartache of mine, that I wasn't the mom I wanted to be. But actually 2 years after I confined myself to the couch and I said, I'm giving up, this Nerve2 products came into my life. And in a short time, I found myself having more energy. I found myself being able to drive at night again. I found myself being able to do the more than one task. I mean, I blow my mind. And I was really skeptical. And it took me 2 years to go, okay, this is for real. I'm not going to just have this peak and then just digress. I'm actually climbing up a hill. It has little bumps, but I'm climbing up a hill. That's amazing. And so basically, I'm now 8 years in November. And if I hadn't gotten better from 2 years in, because the quality of life I had in 2 years in from that couch, I would have been thrilled to have that quality of life. Where I am today, where I have choices, I get to decide what I do with my time. I have a brand new grandbaby, my first one, she's a year old. I get to pick her up. I get to babysit her, and that never would have happened. I get to be the ultimate grandma and make up for all that mommy stuff. But I'm so grateful and for what it's done for my family too. And so as each product has come out, I've been able to add them, and I've been able to see a difference with each one and can tell you about each one. But specifically, I want to mention collagen, because that one it's just incomprehensible what that's done. I like Dr. B, I was not excited. I was like, whatever. I care more about the inside of my body than the outside. And I was on it for 5 weeks. I've been seeing this water physical therapist for 4 years. And she just keeps me going and keeps my pain level down. And basically, when I walk upstairs, I have to put my left foot in front of me, and then I pull up my right leg with my hand. Left foot, pull up my right leg. And when I go get in the car, I actually physically pick up my right leg and I toss it into the car. And anyway, she worked on me. We had some movement in my body that was real unique that day. And I went to go walk out of the pool, and I went left foot, left foot, right onto the deck. And I went, wait, did you see that? My leg supported me. And I was like, oh my gosh. And she goes, do it again, do it again. So I climbed back in the pool and climbed back out. But that was 5 weeks in. And now oh my gosh, I should have figured this out beforehand. 5 months in now. And she said to me last week, she goes, you've got muscles. And I'm like, yay. And so I am experiencing strength, inner strength, a happier self. And I'm able to I have a bright future, and I have choices. So.
I love that, Ilene. Every time I think about it, and literally, so I want people to know there are options out there. And it does matter if what you're doing is activated. We are the activation company. So understanding how this company makes products is we understand that they're genes. If we can activate them, the body can do better than it currently is. All right. Now, what's been fun about this process for me is I've got to team up with many people that have become, been clients of mine, become now dear friends and business partners. And what we're looking for is we want this message to get out to the world, because there are a lot more Ilenes out there that are struggling with their health. They want to be the mom. They want to be that mom. They want to be that grandma, and their health has limited them. And we also want to, find moms like Heather, like there are ones out there, their kids are struggling with health and just not sure what to do. But also I want to find people that are trying to find a way to offset what's going on in the world and with the economy and be able to make sure they have the funds necessary to do the things they want to do. And so I'm going to go over the business side of this. And I want you to know, like, for me, I never thought I was doing this, but I was always, for me, one of the biggest joys and biggest stresses of my life has always been providing for my family. Because I wanted to make sure I could provide for them both financially and emotionally and physically. And so for me, it would be an entrepreneur and a business owner. Like, yeah, I got to help a lot of people with their health, but I also like that having a lot of employees and making sure everything was running. Like there were times during 2008 and 2009, I didn't take a paycheck. I literally lost the house at that time. Just had to make a different financial decision with what happened with the world. And I went to work with doing this. This has allowed me options I didn't have before. I want to show you what's possible, and then you can decide what you want to do. Let me kind of go back to that screen I was looking at with you guys, because I want you to know that this is real. So Ilene, thank you so much for sharing that.
Can I share why I decided to join the business?
You sure can. Go ahead.
Okay.
You know, you do that later, but I'll do it now.
Okay, it's up to you.
Now go.
All right. So Dr. B invited me to his office after we've been on the products for about 2 weeks, and he showed me this presentation. And I am familiar with network marketing, and I had made a decision that was just not my cup of tea. And I had to go hear about these amazing products and endure the business presentation. I sat back in my seat with my arms crossed and go, okay, let me suffer through this. I perked up when I saw the timing of the company and the income disclosure statement. And my mind went to my youngest daughter, who is special needs, neurodiverse. And I thought, oh my gosh, what if I could make this work? And at that time, I had 0 friends, guys. I knew doctors. I had my favorite hospital. I didn't. And I was like, but what if? And here I am today, 5 years later, with more choices in front of me and building that leveraged income, not only for my daughter, but also for me.
I love that, Ilene. And that's been one of the biggest joys of this too, because I know being a clinician, I help people, but they got to pay me, right? And so being able to have a way to help people build another income tied to the health space and to help them do it has been just a joy. And having them, when I see them help other people and seeing the joy I felt for years when seeing somebody get better that I got to help with, they get to have that same experience. And that is just is one of my favorite things of all times. So we want you guys to know we're an activation company. We're in different there, and every product we made is as an activation story, which it activates the body's ability to heal and repair, whether you're talking about skincare, whole body health and longevity, gut health, weight management, hair care, energy, or even immune system, or for pets. Like it's all based on understanding how the body activates its natural ability to heal and repair. So what we want to do is we want to use our relationships to help share information that people want. And as you know, the world has changed and it will continue to change. It's just how are you adapting to it? Many of these names you see on this were not around a few years ago, but they are now common household names because it's how we network and how we share. So what we do is we build a network of customers and network of distributors. The only way you find out about this is if someone someone thought of you and reached out to you and said, hey, are you open to taking a look? And so we want you to know, like, we're here to support you through that process. This, to me, it's a great opportunity to business because you can do it from anywhere. Really, all you need is a phone or a laptop and a voice. And even not even a voice because you can type, right? And we're all about social sharing, getting this information in front of people. You get paid based upon helping other people have success. So when someone buys product, you get paid and then as they buy the product again, the next month you get paid, and you also get paid to help other people grow. I love that because really it's a perfect meld to be able to, not only you have the ability to help and earn, work as hard as you want, but you can also help other people have success as well. I won't go into all the detail, but I want you to know is that there's upfront money, which is as you help build your business, and then there's long-term or what's called leverage money by helping your teams or other people grow. And the unique thing about this business, it doesn't matter who told you about it or what group brought you into it. As you grow and you build an organization, as you become a leader and you help everybody, the whole company grow, the company rewards you based upon the product that was sold from the very beginning. So even though I was involved 3 years before I hit what's called an elite rank, I share in the revenue that's sold every single month since the beginning of the company, because as a leader, you help all the other teams, and that's what this elite pool is about. So there are different ways to get started. If you, hey, look, I'm here because I want the product. Awesome. You can buy the individual products, or you can, and then you buy the products the same price for you as a customer or as a distributor. Doesn't matter either one. So there's some different packages. Say, look, I really want to like maximize my health. I'm going to show you a few different options, and you can join as a customer or you can join as a distributor. You just get back to the person that invited you to this and you make a decision. So what LifeVantage has done, they want to try to make your healthcare affordable as possible. So they put different packages together in order to help people optimize their health and their wellness. And here's one called the Optimized Health Packs. You're affecting your nervous system, your energy production, you're fighting oxidative stress all at one time and supporting your immune system. Like that's phenomenal savings in and of itself. Or if you say, look, I want to achieve more, I want to be more focused, I want to be in the zone more often. Well, here's that brain drink, right? And to make sure your eyes are taken care of because of all the screen time you use, okay? And then the fat burn, which helps your body metabolize, turn down the genes to help your body lose the abdominal fat, okay? Then there's a liquid collagen or the Look Radiant stack. So this is both from the inside and the outside, the collagen on the inside and what's called the True Science on the outside. So think of it as using activation on your skin to help it look and feel its best, all right? Or there's Essential Glow Stack, which is using that protein and nerve 2 you learned about in the video, and the liquid collagen, all right? Then if you're like, hey, you're like me and Ilene and Heather said, look, I want to use all the products, I want to learn about all the products, there's a Elite Pack. And you can see the savings difference, literally like $2,000 worth of product for $1,000. But wherever you decide to be, we want to support you through that process. The potential you have is really dependent on how hard you work. And I love that about this is if you're willing to do the work, doesn't matter, and you're willing to figure it out, great. We're a publicly traded company. And what that means is the finances are very transparent, debt-free, publicly traded company. So what this shows over here is the amount of different ranks are making based upon the volume that goes to their group. So for instance, a Pro 3 is someone that has 5,000 of product sales each month, and they're making an extra almost extra under $650 a month. So who do you know that could benefit from an extra $650 a month? Or like Heather, Heather and Ilene are both Pro 5. So average Pro 5 right at $3,000 a month. Like who do you know that would make a huge difference in what they're able to do or the options they'll be able to have? I'm a Pro 7 with the company. Average Pro 7 is $13,000 a month. The individual that taught me about this, helped me be successful at the business side of this, she was a Bath and Body Works store manager. Like that's what she did for over 10 years. She's a Pro 9 with the company. Average Pro 9 well over $50,000 a month. So you can see you can go as the executive Pro 10s. We're talking about $133,000 a month, right? And when I look at the amount of money people can make, like some of this is just it's life changing no matter where you're at, depending where you need to be. And so I say find out what you want and let's go after that. And I say, I want a lot of people involved with this company with us, okay? Because you can do this, right? But I want them to be successful because like I know every person that's successful, I mean, we've affected other people that are better with their health. They're part of a community that cares about them, that wants to help them be successful. And we're out there changing the world, and they're creating a financial impact that allows them to have something to take the pressure off in other places. So everything you need to run a business is right here. Like I've run multiple traditional businesses, and with this, like all I have to do is talk to people about it, and the company handles the rest. They handle all the shipping, logistics. They have my website for me. All I have to do is go out there and talk to people, help other people have success at sharing the information, and by doing that, we're able to change the world. As a publicly traded company, we have a board of directors, and because of that, we've attracted some very unique individuals. One of us being Erin Brockovich, she's the one out there like really champions the health space, but also being clean, right? So as a company, like we are looking for people like Erin Brockovich or individuals that are looking to create a massive change in the world, be a part of a phenomenal community, and we happen to have a product that's got crazy science that's attracting so many individuals, professionals that understand that and want to take that to the world. So we are beyond grateful that you came on tonight. And when I say get back to the person that invited you and say, look, I want to use the products, great. Let them know which ones you're thinking about. If you have more detailed question, what the products are, we can send some information where you can look at it. If you want to have a little more of a question about the business, get your questions answered. it's more likely now people to have 2 jobs than it is to have 1 anymore. The reason for that is because people need more finances. So if this is something that resonates with you, like I said, let's have a conversation and let's go to work. Heather and Ilene, I want you to, again, thank you both so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here with me tonight. And I can't wait to continue to impact the world going forward. So you guys have a phenomenal night, and we'll catch up soon.
All right. Thank you.